It actually just happened. Bitcoin has broken through to a new all-time high. Crazy, what's going on here again? We're going to take a close look at why the Bitcoin price is reacting so strongly right now. We're seeing massive shorts. We're seeing rumors now that Jerome Powell is stepping down. We've got new tariffs, new duties here from Donald Trump. We've got massive investments here from Trump Jr., who's now pouring a ton of money into Bitcoin. We're seeing senators in the US who are really pushing hard for Bitcoin, taking shots at the CFTC, who have no clue about Bitcoin. And we're seeing Wall Street legend Edelman, who now sees Bitcoin at $500,000. What's happening right now is absolutely wild. Smash that like button down below. We've pulled back a bit again now. I don't know what price Bitcoin will be at when you watch this video, but we shot past the ordinary highs and then pulled back a little. So hit that like button for me here, or not the like buttons, just the like button, so that Bitcoin can clearly break through the order high, and we can shoot for new and even higher all-time highs. I've always told you this, Bitcoin always breaks out or does something unexpected exactly when no one is expecting anything. And that's exactly what a lot of people were expecting now. We were moving sideways, 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 and then we broke right through the all-time high. Of course, there's always a sell-off right after, but we're just seeing massive moves here, and that always happens when there are a lot of short sellers who get liquidated. That's when we get this cascading effect upwards. By the way, I'm at Bitcoin Beach. In Germany, there's no water here, so you have to make do with a bathtub. And it's freezing cold here, I can tell you that already. So, it's not like in El Salvador where you have nice temperatures. Here it's really, really cold, winter in August or July. Well, it's July now, not August. So go ahead and smash the like button for better weather here, while he's talking about how there's a tin shop in Germany, which is, of course, complete bullshit. We can see here how Bitcoin shot up to $112,000. Just like that, bam, in your face. And now we're actually seeing some massive stories here, like Michael Saylor, who now has unrealized gains of, get this, these are millions, no, billions, 24 billion. Of course, that's not his personal money, but his company's. We have the Israeli parliament, which held its first session today about Bitcoin. It's really crazy what's happening here, how more and more countries are opening up to Bitcoin. And then we actually have some rumors here. I mean, this might be a bit far-fetched, but now there are rumors going around that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is rumored to resign. The money printer may never rest again. No one's coming to save the dollar. And I don't think that the rumor about Fed Chair Jerome Powell is what caused the Bitcoin price to shoot up to new highs here. That probably has more to do with tariffs and the general market situation here. But of course, the whole story around the easing of goods, now these Jerome Powell resigning rumors, and so on. It's just that the whole picture is simply the ultimate build-up here. And yesterday afternoon, I uploaded the video about the easing of goods, where I said, guys, it's absolutely insane what's happening here. We're seeing historic stimulus packages coming our way. Bitcoiners are going to benefit massively from this, and most people aren't even aware of how much their Bitcoin will profit from it. And most people also don't realize how much the gap between rich and poor is going to widen here. People who are well-positioned, who are in Bitcoin, and stocks, and real estate, and gold, they're going to benefit massively. And people who aren't in on this are going to get absolutely wrecked. And that's why it's all the more important to smash that subscribe button right now. It's all the more important to pay close attention to what's happening here, because you can't afford to sleep on this. If you sleep on this, it means you're losing purchasing power. You're simply losing your stake in the global financial world, because you'll just get inflated away if you just let your money sit in your account or something like that. So right now, I'm talking about your money. Then we see Donald Trump Jr., who just pumped $4 million into the Bitcoin treasury company here. Thumbs, they're called Thumb UPS Media, Sumbats Media. Nobody knows them, just another one of those unknown treasury companies, but we keep seeing this all the time. Some unknown treasury companies suddenly take off massively. And sometimes it really pays off to make an early investment if you get involved very quickly or heavily in these treasury companies right at the start, before the whole thing sometimes goes viral. And then we had all those tariffs that Donald Trump announced, after which the Bitcoin price more or less reacted. That happened pretty much in parallel with that, and also in parallel with the news about Jerome Powell, that Jerome Powell is stepping down. So here we see tariffs on Iraq at 30%, Libya also at 30% each, Brunei 25%, Algeria 30%, Moldova 25%, the Philippines 20%. And then we had even more tariffs here, like Brazil at 50%, Cambodia 36%. You can read through all the details here, all the tariffs in detail. The whole thing will go online here on August 1st, and right, Donald Trump also says here, any retaliation will be met with increased tariffs. So if anyone retaliates, there will be additional tariffs. Trump also says there won't be any more additional tariffs. And here, Trump says retaliation will be met with a proportional response on top of these tariffs. So that any retaliatory measures will be met with an appropriate response in addition to these tariffs. According to the Trump administration, over 100 countries did not seek trade agreements during the 90-day pause. And we can clearly see here that there's a massive buildup of menthol mint in the background. I already told you last night about the story with the advisors, who can now proactively pitch Bitcoin here. And interestingly, I also said that this is a massive price driver, and shortly after, the price broke out here as well, although in my opinion, there's no real connection. But if I just take advisors, and banks, and asset management, and so on, who are now allowed to proactively pitch Bitcoin here through special ETF vehicles, I mean, that's just the ultimate bull case. Then, all of a sudden, some bank advisors, some bank consultants will come to you and instead of suggesting, a home savings contract or something like that, they'll actually recommend investing in Bitcoin. And there was also a study here, according to a Bitcom survey. Here, the Association of the German Information and Telecommunications Industry found that out of 602 companies, about half believe that Bitcoin could become standard in 10 years. Currently, only 2% use cryptocurrencies and 6% are open to the idea. A majority of 86% still can't imagine using cryptocurrencies in the future. So you see, we're still very, very early, but a lot of people have done their homework here, and that's exactly what I mean. Don't be among the bratwurst crowd, don't be among the schnitzel eaters, but be with the people who are waking up here. Of course, bratwurst and schnitzel are included in that. You know what I mean. What I mean is, you shouldn't be trapped in the fiat coma, just letting yourself be lulled here in a sugar shock and a sugar rush. Netflix and the like. Let's fucking go. Pornhub, QB, we're on it and all that. And just going along with the whole rush here. Really try to get out of the rush. Come into clarity. Come into your awareness here, into your own strength. That's what Bitcoin is for, to make you financially free, to give you back your time. You can use this time to get healthier, to become more conscious, to become stronger. The idea behind Bitcoin is to slowly spin yourself out of the fiat hamster wheel. You don't have to slave away all day. You don't have to live a life you don't want. You don't have to, do something just because society expects it from you, or follow some weird archetypes that society has invented, archetypes you can't even relate to, that don't make you happy at all. You're basically living a life that's not authentic for you. It doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you rich, and it doesn't make you beautiful. And that's the important thing to take away from Bitcoin year. Bitcoin is fuck you money, and you really have to appreciate that power and embrace it. And then you have to go all in and not get scared and back out. And now we're seeing that Bitcoin is asserting itself on the big stage. Check this out. Senator Bernie Monero here, who is now schooling CFTC Chair Timothy Messett about Bitcoin. Look at the crap he's spouting here. He's definitely stuck in a brainwash coma here, and he wanted to free you because otherwise you'll miss out on massive gains.
So you're saying Ether and Bitcoin, Mr. Masad, just for your sake, I just want to clarify a couple of things that you said to make sure you meant to say what you said. Did you call Bitcoin a native token?
So he just called Bitcoin a native token, which is, of course, nonsense. Now listen up.
To as a native, in other words, Bitcoin and Ether referred to as native tokens.
So you're saying Ether and Bitcoin are the same?
Well, I'm classifying both of them as
Tell me you don't understand Bitcoin without telling me you don't understand Bitcoin.
what you call native tokens of the blockchain.
So you're
He's just lumping Bitcoin and Ether together, like they're the same thing to him.
native token is how you would describe Bitcoin. It's very clear of that.
It's a term that's used to describe when you have a blockchain and you have the token
People are just saying you have no clue here.
that allows you to use that blockchain. That's often called a native token. Yes.
Got it. And there lies exactly why we need to have this market structure regulation. Because the idea that we would turn over this industry to some bureaucrat working at some agency is insane. Because that would make it so that no American company would ever invest in a digital asset company in the United States of America when you have people who are just completely not lacking the fundamental technical base. This reminds me of the Facebook ad where the old lady's sitting there taking pictures off a physical wall and the guy saying, yeah, none of this works this way. Bitcoin is a commodity.
And that's what it is here. Bitcoin is a commodity here, not some kind of token nonsense or anything like that. And that's something you just have to understand. And he got it. He woke up from his bratwurst coma. He's clear-headed here. And a lot of people just aren't there yet. They mix up a lot of things here. They don't get it. They're confused. And then they're surprised when they don't catch the massive gains here. And then they're confused. Oh, sorry. Now Bitcoin is at 10 million or Bitcoin is at 1 million. I'm really surprised now. No, you really have to do your homework here. Bitcoin is simply the first digital commodity that exists here. And he broke it down here very, very easily and very, very clearly. Now check out what the next statement is here, also from the senator. That one hits even harder.
Because make no mistake, blockchain technology and digital assets are not going away. They are here to
So he says here, wait, he says blockchain and digital assets are here to stay. And of course, that's pretty crazy. I mean, he doesn't really differentiate between Bitcoin and blockchain and tech and digital assets. You could definitely criticize him for that. But just the fact that he sees it as a technology, that's something I always say too. When people recognize this as a technology, then it's a really, really massive deal because it means they understand, okay, this isn't just going to disappear in a few days or something. No, this is here to stay. And it's not just senators who get this, but also Wall Street legends. Check this out. Edelman, worth $300 billion. What they have to say about Bitcoin. Attention, let's go.
I do pretty openly, so I'll tell you.
For a price prediction of $500,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the decade, how did you get there? And how much conviction do you have in that?
I'm actually pretty conservative. A lot of other folks say 1 million by 2030. Michael Saylor says 5 million. But not too many others share their math. I do pretty openly. So I'll tell you very quickly and easily how I get there. If you take a look at the world's global assets, the total value of everything, the value of stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, oil, commodities, you name it, add up the total value of everything, it's about $800 trillion. Now, if you take the owners of all that stuff, you own a little bit of it, I own a little bit of it, we all own a little bit. If all the owners of all that stuff allocate just 1% of their portfolio to Bitcoin, that would be a flow of $8 trillion. That would put Bitcoin at 500,000.
And if you ask me, that's pretty based, what he's saying right now. So Bitcoin is going to go up to 500,000, and he's just saying there are 800 trillion in global assets. By now, it's actually more than 1.1 trillion, I think. Well, how do you say it? Not trillion. That would already be quadrillions. So 1,100 trillion in global assets. But he's only calculating with 800 here. You also have to say, not all of these are liquid assets. Actually, only about 450 of them are really liquid. The rest, is difficult. Partly, it's not liquid and so on. That means you probably won't be able to use the entire capital pool, but he definitely takes the whole capital pool, then takes out 1%, and that's how he gets to the 500,000. That would be a market capitalization of 8 trillion in Bitcoin, and that's then 500,000. And guys, that's just the beginning. Anyone who thinks it stops at 500,000 is mistaken. Let's be clear about that. And I found that to be a really, really interesting assessment. Feel free to write in the comments below what you think about it. Exactly. If you still want to buy Bitcoin, I'll put a link for you to trend to my Bitcoin. Here you can easily and securely buy Bitcoin with Quid Bitcoin. There's still up to 20% off the fee when you buy Bitcoin. And very important, right now there's still the TREZOR discount promotion. Currently, for the birthday, the anniversary of the TREZOR 5 safe, there's a 20% discount. So you should definitely take advantage if you don't have a TREZOR hardware wallet yet. The link is below. And use Quid Bitcoin Hotel. Then you're good to go. I'm going for a swim now. Peace out.